From an early age, you realized there was something different about you. While other kids laughed, played, and seamlessly blended into the rhythm of the world around them, you stood apart, not out of arrogance or defiance, but because something inside you pulsed differently. It wasn't just a feeling. It was a knowing, a quiet hum in your bones that whispered you were here for more. The classroom, with its rows of desks and rigid schedules, felt like a cage for your spirit. You watched your peers memorize facts, chase grades, and follow the rules, but none of it made sense to you. Why were you here? What really mattered? That question burned in your chest, a fire no textbook could extinguish. You operate on a frequency the educational system cannot understand. Science tells us that everything in the universe vibrates. Atoms, light, even thoughts. Your vibration was never meant to sync with a system built to standardize souls. Where others saw structure, you saw shackles. The teacher's voice droned on about equations or historical dates, but your mind drifted to the stars, to the unseen threads connecting everything. You weren't distracted, you were awake. This was your first taste of the chosen awakening, a moment when the world's noise faded and your inner signal grew louder. It wasn't rebellion, it was revelation. You didn't fit because you weren't supposed to. How do you recognize this chosen trait in yourself? Start by observing your resistance. When the bell rang and everyone shuffled to the next task, did you feel a pull to question it all? Did you sit through lessons wondering why the important things felt so hollow? That's your signal. Don't dismiss it as boredom or laziness. Those are labels the system slaps on what it can't control. Pay attention to the moments when you feel most alive. Maybe it's when you're alone with your thoughts, sketching ideas no one else sees, or sensing truths others ignore. Write them down. Track them. These are the breadcrumbs of your higher calling, proof that your frequency cuts through the static of a world obsessed with conformity. That nagging question, asterisk, why am I here? What really matters? Asterisk wasn't a burden. It was your compass. At first, it unsettled you. You saw friends chasing approval, fitting into the mold, while you wrestled with a purpose you couldn't yet name. The isolation stung. But then came the shift. You stopped fighting that difference and leaned into it. Science backs this too. Neurodiversity studies show some minds reject rigid patterns, seeking instead to forge new pathways. That's you. Your brain, your soul, they're wired for the extraordinary. Acceptance didn't come overnight, but it started when you realized this restlessness wasn't a flaw. It was your strength, a sign you were chosen to see what others couldn't. Here's how you step into that truth. First, trust your instincts. When the system told you to sit still and obey, your gut screamed there was more. Listen to it. Second, question everything. Not out of cynicism, but curiosity. What's the point of a rule? Does it serve your growth or someone else's agenda? Third, seek your own knowledge. The system hands you a script, you write your own. Dive into what lights you up, whether it's nature, art, or the mysteries of the cosmos. Finally, claim it. Say it out loud. I am chosen, not with arrogance, but with certainty. You're not here to fit in, you're here to break through. This awakening isn't abstract. It's visceral. You felt it in those quiet moments when the world's rules seemed absurd, when you stared out the window and knew the real lessons weren't on the chalkboard. Your frequency clashed with the system because it was tuned to something greater, a mission, a purpose, a connection to the infinite. You're not alone in this. Others like you have felt that same spark, that same disconnect. The difference is you're ready to act on it. This is your starting line. Embrace the fire inside you. It's not here to torment you. It's here to guide you. You've never been drawn to the race for grades. While others scrambled to outscore each other, you sat back, unimpressed. The competition felt like a hollow game. Numbers on a page, applause for obedience, a prize that never sparked anything real inside you. It wasn't laziness or apathy. It was a gut-level rejection of a system that measured worth in ways that didn't align with your soul. You saw through it. The endless chase for approval, the pressure to prove yourself through a lens that never captured who you truly are. That disconnect wasn't a weakness, it was your power waking up. Now, it's time to turn that clarity into strength. Let's face it, the social scene at school didn't make it easy. Friends bragged about test scores, teachers praised the overachievers, and you were left wondering why none of it mattered to you. Maybe they called you aloof or unfocused when you didn't join the frenzy. That sting of judgment, it's real. But here's the shift. Understanding why grades never hooked you changes everything. You're not here to compete in someone else's arena. You're here to build your own. When the chatter about rankings starts, don't shrink. Stand tall. Say to yourself, "This isn't my fight." Walk away from the noise and into your truth. Your worth isn't a letter on a report card. It's the fire in your spirit. Classes seemed boring because they didn't speak to you. The rules? Pointless hoops to jump through. You weren't distracted, you were disengaged from a script that never fit. Science shows us something here. Studies on motivation reveal that when tasks lack personal meaning, the brain tunes out. Your mind didn't wander because it was broken. It wandered because it was searching for something real. That boredom wasn't a dead end. It was a signal. Flip it. Use it. Ask yourself, what does pull me in? Maybe it's the way a storm moves across the sky, or a question no one else dares to ask. Chase that. Let it fuel you. That's where your power hides, not in a classroom, but in the pulse of what makes you feel alive. Here's how you hold your chosen identity in a world that doesn't get it. First, stop explaining yourself. They won't understand why you don't play their game. Don't waste your breath. Second, anchor in your knowing. When someone questions your path, look them in the eye and say, "I'm built for something different." Mean it. Third, create your own space. If the system suffocates you, step outside it. Read what calls to you, explore what ignites you, connect with others who feel the same. You're not drifting, you're claiming ground. Finally, protect your energy. The pressure to conform is loud, but your frequency is louder. Tune into it. You're not lost in their world. You're leading in yours. Understanding these reasons rewires how you see your journey. The competition never appealed to you because it's not your battlefield. Society screams that intelligence is a grade, a rank, a trophy, but you know better. Your mind thrives beyond their metrics, pulling wisdom from experience, intuition, and the unseen. When the weight of their expectations hits, don't buckle. Stand up straighter. Remind yourself, I'm not failing their test. I'm passing mine. Take that pressure and flip it into fuel. Every time they push you to fit in, dig deeper into what sets you apart. That's your weapon. That's your path. This isn't about rejecting everything. It's about redefining what matters. You're not anti-learning. You're anti-limits. The boredom, the pointless rules, the grade-chasing circus, they couldn't hold you because they couldn't see you. So, build your own measure of success. Set a goal that makes your blood hum. Maybe it's mastering something no one's taught you, or cracking a mystery they've overlooked. Start today. Pick one thing that stirs you and dive in. Action cuts through doubt. Each step you take outside their lines proves you're not just surviving their system, you're transcending it. You've felt the clash, the friction, the quiet roar inside telling you this isn't all there is. That's your chosen nature breaking through. The world wants you small, compliant, predictable, but you're none of those things. When the classroom dulled your spark, it wasn't dimming. It was redirecting. Use that. Let it forge you. You're not here to win their race. You're here to run your own. Understanding why you never fit doesn't just ease the struggle. It lights the way. This is your fight now. Take it. Own it. Rise. You've always sensed there's more to life than what they told you. The report card, the gold stars, the applause for fitting in, it never lit you up. Instead, you felt a pull, a whisper from somewhere beyond the noise, tugging at your soul. That's your high-dimensional connection waking up. It's not a fantasy. It's a frequency shift. When you connect with spirituality, information downloads, sharp, electric, alive. Not words on a page or lectures from a podium, but raw insights that hit you like lightning, stripping away the illusion society stapled over your eyes. Life isn't a grade. It's a vast, pulsing expanse, and you're wired to see it. This connection isn't random. Science hints at it. Quantum physics shows us unseen fields of energy linking everything, vibrating with information beyond what our five senses catch. You tap into that. That's why the classroom felt small. Your mind wasn't drifting. It was reaching. When you're still, when the world quiets, you feel it. A rush of knowing, a clarity that cuts through the fog. Maybe it's a sudden understanding of why something happened, or a gut-level certainty about what's true. That's high-vibe data streaming in, not from your head, but from something greater. You're not imagining it, you're receiving it. But how do you know it's real? How do you separate this from your own thoughts or wishful thinking? Start here. True high-dimensional info feels different. It lands with weight, a quiet power that doesn't beg for approval. Self-projection is loud, needy, looping over the same fears or fantasies. High-vibe downloads? They're calm, direct, expansive. Test it. Next time a thought hits, ask, does this shrink me or stretch me? Does it cling to my ego or push me towards something bigger? If it's the latter, you're plugged in. Doubt's normal, use it as a filter, not a wall. You're learning to tune the signal. You've never vibed with the grade-chasing grind because it's not how you learn. The chosen ones don't swallow imposed truths, they question, they feel, they connect. You've always picked up the energy around you like a sixth sense. The tension in a room, the unspoken currents behind someone's words. That's your real classroom. While others memorized formulas, you studied the invisible. Competition for grades never hooked you, it's too small a game. You're here for the big picture, and that means trusting the lessons that come through experience, not a syllabus. Lean into that. It's your strength. Here's how you sharpen this connection. First, get quiet. Noise drowns the signal, scrolling, chatter, even your own overthinking. Sit with yourself, no distractions, 5 minutes a day. Breathe deep. Ask, what do I need to know? Don't force it. Let it come. Second, feel the energy. High-dimensional info isn't just thoughts. It's a sensation. Does your chest hum? Does your spine tingle? That's the download kicking in. Third, write it down fast. These hits fade if you don't anchor them. Scribble the raw truth before your mind second-guesses it. Finally, act on it. Small steps. If it tells you to move, speak, shift, do it. Action proves you're listening. The emotional ride is intense. 1 minute, you're buzzing with clarity. The next, you're wrestling doubt. That's the chosen one's path. Learning differently means feeling differently too. The system labeled you distracted or lazy when you didn't play their game, but those tags never stuck. You knew better. When you connect with spirituality, you feel the world's pulse. Its pain, its potential, and it's heavy. Don't run from that weight, wield it. Let it fuel your fire. Grades couldn't measure this, but you don't need their ruler. You're sizing up infinity. Practicality matters. You're not just floating in cosmic vibes, you're decoding them. Say you get a flash, this path isn't right. Don't just nod and drift, dig in. Ask, what's off? Where's it pointing me? Cross-check it with what's real. Does it match the energy you're picking up? Does it hold under pressure? If it does, trust it. Move. Or maybe it's a vision of what's possible, a spark of something you're meant to create. Sketch it out. Break it into steps. Start now. These downloads aren't decorations. They're directives. You're built to act, not just dream. This high-vibe connection preps you to see beyond illusions. Society sold you a lie. That life's a checklist: school, job, status. You've felt the cracks in that story since you were a kid. Now you're tearing it down. Every time you tap in, you glimpse the truth. You're not here to report back to their system. You're here to rewrite it. That's what the downloads are for. They're not random thoughts. They're blueprints. The more you listen, the clearer it gets. Life's not a test to pass. It's a mission to claim. You're not waiting for permission, you're stepping up. The intensity can throw you. One day, you're on fire with purpose. The next, you're wondering if it's all in your head. That's the edge you walk. Chosen ones don't get a straight line, they get a spiral, looping deeper each time. When doubt creeps in, don't freeze. Move through it. Go back to your tools. Quiet, feel, write, act. The signal's still there, it doesn't quit, even when you waver. And that old itch, the one that made school feel pointless, it's evolving. It's not just restlessness now, it's readiness. You're tuning in to something massive, and it's about to break wide open. You're not alone in this. Others out there feel it too, the hum, the pull, the knowing. You might not see them yet, but they're waking up just like you. The system can't hold what's coming. It never could hold you. Every download you catch, every illusion you shred, you're prepping for what's real. A life bigger than their boxes, a purpose sharper than their rules. Keep connecting, keep questioning, keep moving. This isn't just about seeing beyond, it's about building what's next. You've got the frequency. Now turn up the volume. You felt the call. Sharp, undeniable, vibrating through your core. It's not a whisper anymore. It's a roar. Your purpose isn't some distant star you're chasing. It's the fire already burning inside you, ready to shape the world. Strengthening your connection with that purpose isn't about waiting for clarity to strike. It's about grabbing it, forging it, and wielding it in the here and now. Together, we're peeling back the hidden truths. Truths the system buried under layers of noise and distraction. To fuel your mission and ignite a new era. This isn't theory. This is action. You're not just chosen, you're the spark. Let's cut through the haze. Understanding why you've always learned differently changes everything. From an early age, you knew the traditional path, classrooms, textbooks, rigid rules didn't fit. It wasn't laziness or rebellion. It was instinct. The chosen ones don't absorb truth from repetition or obedience. You pull it from experience, reflection, and a connection to something vast. That's your edge. Now take it further. Stop doubting that difference. Own it. Ask yourself, what have I learned outside their lines that no one else sees? Maybe it's how energy shifts in a conversation, or a pattern in the chaos others miss. That's your knowledge base. Build on it. You're not here to follow someone else's map. You're here to draw your own. Start by grounding your purpose in what's real. Sit with yourself, no distractions, and feel the pulse of what drives you. Is it creating something no one's dared? Is it dismantling lies others swallow whole? Don't overthink. Just listen. Write down what hits you hardest. Not vague dreams, specifics. I'm here to expose what's hidden. I'm here to heal what's broken. That's your anchor. Science backs this. Studies show purposeful action lights up your brain's reward system, syncing your mind and body to a higher frequency. This isn't fluff, it's fuel. How do you live this every day? You become the example. The chosen ones don't just know differently, they act differently. Ditch the old script. If sitting through pointless routines drains you, stop. Carve out time for what feeds your soul. whether it's decoding the universe through a late-night journal or building something that defies their rules. Show up unapologetically. When others lean on you, don't just nod, share what you've learned from the unseen. I don't chase their game, I play my own. Let them feel your certainty. Your life becomes the proof. Traditional ways don't bind you, they never could. Balance is your weapon. This path isn't a straight shot, it's a storm. One moment, you're electric with purpose. The next, you're slammed with doubt or exhaustion. That's not failure, it's the rhythm of growth. Feel it all. When the high hits, ride it, create, speak, move. When the low creeps in, don't collapse, anchor. Breathe deep. Remind yourself, this is part of it. I'm still chosen. Science knows this too. Emotional resilience comes from naming what you feel, not dodging it. You're not fragile, you're forging steel. The intensity proves you're alive, not lost. Now craft your plan. This isn't about lofty ideals, it's about steps you can take today. First, pinpoint your signal. What pulls you when the world goes quiet? That's your North Star. Second, break it down. If your purpose is to reveal truth, start small. Call out one lie you see. Write it, share it. If it's to lift others, find one person and show them what you know. Third, schedule it. Block an hour tomorrow to act, no excuses. Fourth, track it. After a week, look back. What shifted? What fired you up? Adjust and push harder. This is your mission, personalized, real, and yours to command. You're not alone in this fight. The hidden truths we're uncovering about who you are, why you're here, bind us together. You feel the energy around you, don't you? That hum when you're aligned, that jolt when you're off? It's not chance. It's resonance. Others like you are waking up, stepping out, linking up. Together, we're not just strengthening our purposes, we're building something new. A space where the chosen thrive, where the old rules crumble. You're not waiting for that era, you're creating it. Every move you make ripples out. That's power. Doubt will claw at you. The system's loud, and it hates what it can't control. When it screams you're wrong, too different, too loud, stand firmer. You've already proven it wrong by existing. Look at your life. Every time you broke their mold, you grew stronger. That's evidence. Use it. When your mind spins, go back to your anchor, those raw truths you wrote down. Say them out loud. I'm here for this. I'm built for this. Then move. Action kills hesitation. You're not guessing at your purpose, you're living it step by unrelenting step. Your learning style, raw, untamed, connected, sets you apart for a reason. The chosen ones don't just consume knowledge, you generate it. Take what you've felt, seen, survived, and turn it into something tangible. A conversation that wakes someone up. A creation that shifts how they think. A stand that breaks their silence. That's your practice. Not tomorrow now. The world's shifting fast, and you're not here to watch. You're here to lead. Your purpose isn't a burden. It's a blade. Sharpen it. Wield it. Cut through the noise. This is the new era unfolding. You're not just part of it, you're driving it. Every time you choose your truth over their lies, you strengthen that connection to your purpose. Every time you act, you pull those hidden truths into the light. Balance keeps you steady, your plan keeps you moving, and your fire keeps you alive. You're not waiting for permission or a perfect moment. Those don't exist. You've got everything you need, the signal, the will, the fight. This is your mission realized. Take it, shape it, ignite it. The world won't know what hit it. In the end, your chosen nature isn't a crown to wear or a title to claim. It's a call to rise, a summons etched in the marrow of your being. You've felt it since the beginning, that unshakable pulse driving you beyond the ordinary, past the illusions, and into the vastness of what's real. This isn't about escaping the world. It's about piercing through it. wielding your fire to carve a path where others see only walls. Your mission pulses with every step you take, every truth you uncover, every boundary you shatter. Not for glory, but for the sheer, raw necessity of being who you were always meant to be. The chosen don't just see the dawn, they ignite it,